What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I've got for you two relationship stories. In the first one, a guy is incredibly upset that his girlfriend beats him at fantasy football. His mates also are not happy at all, so she is kicked out of the league the next season, but they don't tell her. The fallout is not good, and I won't give any spoilers, but there's a lot of strain on that relationship. In the second, this woman's boyfriend believes that they shouldn't be together because his other female friend told him that their zodiac signs are not compatible. So sit back, relax, enjoy these two stories. Let's go. My girlfriend found out that I lied about me and my friends playing fantasy football, and I know I screwed up big time. This was originally posted on September 21st, 2025. I know it was wrong to lie to my girlfriend, and I probably should have just told her the truth. I lied because I didn't want to hurt her or upset her, but I realized it was still a lie. I've been playing fantasy football with some friends for years. We're all big sports fans, but football is the biggest. Last season, one of the guys dropped out of our fantasy league because he said it was taking up too much of his time, and he was afraid it was pushing him into a gambling problem. We needed another player, and my girlfriend watches football, so we asked her to play. I know I'm going to catch heat for saying this, but it wasn't as fun playing with her as I thought it would be. I don't know if it was beginner's luck or what, but she pretty much destroyed the rest of us all season. It wasn't fun losing to her. So, this season we just decided to tell her that we're not playing this year. I didn't want to at first, but the other guys insisted. We invited the new brother-in-law of one of the other guys to play instead. I just told her that everyone was too busy to play this year, and she didn't question it. On Thursday night, we slipped up, and she found out we are still playing. She had to go to work, but she was annoyed. She's been frosty since she got home Friday morning. Next weekend, we're supposed to go to an out-of-state wedding. Her family isn't from Chicago, but now she said she wants to go by herself. I tried to explain it, but it just made her mad. It's nothing personal, no one hates her or anything. I know I'm going to catch heat in the comments. Every time I try to explain it, it makes it worse. I screwed up. There's no way around it. But she is so upset and I don't know what to do to make it better. I know I effed up. Okay, let's jump straight into the comments here before we get to the update. Somebody said, "You definitely messed up. This won't even be about excluding her from something, but about how you were okay lying to her. The key to relationships is communication. My only suggestion for your current situation would be to man up, take full responsibility, and apologize. Then sit down and have an honest conversation with her about why you did what you did and what you plan to do to make sure communication is honest going forward. If you're lucky and you work for it, you'll be able to build up trust again." Opie replied saying, "Yeah, I know you're right. I make no excuses, and I realize I screwed up. Every time I try to explain, I make it worse. I did apologize, but she doesn't want to hear it right now. I understand why she's mad, and I don't make any excuses for lying or hiding it. I should have stuck to my guns when the other guys insisted." Someone else said, "Well, don't try to deflect it onto the other guys. They're not in this relationship. You are. For now. They didn't decide to lie. You did. Own up to it and take the consequences." That's a good point. They never once said, "Well, we're not going to tell her," because obviously you would be the one to decide to tell her or not. You're with her. And then in support of that comment, someone else said, "Nah, you were happy to go along with the guys, even though you knew it meant doing something hurtful to your girlfriend. Getting validation and approval from them was more important than your girlfriend's feelings, and that is 100% on you." Alright, let's get into the update, which was posted over 2 months later on December the 2nd. So, it's over. I know I screwed up and the writing was on the wall. The worst part is that I have no excuses. I know how badly I effed this up. I'm not even looking for sympathy here. When my girlfriend got back from the wedding, she asked me why I lied to her. I didn't have an answer for her. All my explanations just made it worse and didn't really explain anything. I tried to apologize, but she didn't want to hear it. It was the worst week of my life. It was almost like she was freezing me out. At one point, she asked me if we ever talked about her in the group chat for our fantasy league. I didn't even have to answer. She just said, "It's not nice, right?" And I think that was the turning point. I never want to see her cry, and the worst part is knowing I did this because I was stupid and didn't stand up to my friends. She said she doesn't think we're compatible and we shouldn't date anymore. She didn't want to accept my apologies, and I understand, and I won't bother her now. She went to stay with her family for another week, and now I've heard she came back because of her job, pharmacist, and now she's staying with friends. But I'll leave her alone. I'm looking for another place to live because our lease is up at the end of the month. She left 2 weeks ago and it feels empty. And the worst part is, I know it's my fault. I barely care about watching football now, and normally I'd be excited about it because my team's in first place. If you take anything away from my post, don't put your friends over the person you love. Learn to stand up to your friends. I learned my lesson after all of this. Now, the top comment on this was, so what were you guys saying about her in the group chat then? And someone else said, probably just some unexamined misogyny disguised as humor, I'm sure. So look, we obviously don't know for sure what was being posted in that group chat, what you guys were talking about in relation to OP's girlfriend, but you know, I can imagine it probably wasn't that good. Let's just be completely realistic. The sad thing about all of this, in my opinion, is that it wasn't as if, you know, she was doing something really bad, or even she was really bad at the game, she wasn't enjoying it, she was doing something to affect all of your guys' enjoyment, but in like a negative way, like her doing it on purpose or something. It was just that she was better than all of you, consistently as well, by the way. I'm not 100% sure how fantasy football works over in the US with American football, but I think from reading what OP said, it wasn't beginner's luck at all. She was beating you all each and every week. I think it works slightly differently where you can't have any of the same players, and I think you can pick different players each week. I might be wrong on that. Let me know in the comments down below if you do play fantasy football. But yeah, I mean, she was just destroying you, and for that reason, your mates couldn't deal with it. That's just so embarrassing, on the one hand. What's more embarrassing than that is that you couldn't stand up to them and say, no, stop being such little female dogs, for want of a better word, and just get good. Simple as that. Like, why are you complaining that my girlfriend is beating you? That's on you. There's something about men that can't handle women beating them when it comes to sports, which is just like disgusting. It's so bad. I feel like they wouldn't even care if like one of their mates was beating them, but no, because it's your girlfriend and she's a girl, and I'm assuming here, but this is probably what's going on. That is why they were like, nah, we got to kick her out. And also, like, if it was genuinely beginner's luck, then surely they'd be like, well, next season, of course you can play. If it was beginner's luck, we'll beat you next year. But the fact that they don't want you in there at all, and they're probably saying some pretty horrible things in the group chat, yeah, I'm not sure about that. Some of you guys may not know this about me, but I actually have another YouTube channel which I run called Fantasy Football Hub, where I make videos about Fantasy Premier League. So that's football or soccer in the UK. So I love fantasy football a lot. And my sister, who is not as into football as me, but is into football, has beaten me in FPL, Fantasy Premier League. That's a season-long game over 38 weeks before, and it's now like sort of my part-time job to make videos about it. I've been on Sky Sports, a major broadcaster in the UK, talking about it. Now, imagine if I was like, oh my god, I'm so butthurt, you're a girl, you know less about sport than me, and you've beaten me, and we can never be in a league together again. What sort of a person would that make me? That's just so embarrassing, like all these guys. Anyway, let's get into our second story of this episode. My boyfriend believes that we shouldn't be together because his female friend told him our zodiac signs are not compatible. This is slowly getting ridiculous. My boyfriend of 2 years has a female friend. They've been close since middle school, so she's been in his life more than most of his other friends. He's 21. I guess this is why he listens to her and her opinions on a lot of matters, including on our relationship, which I found out recently. What's happening is that every time we have a fight, he was going to her to vent about our problems. I was okay with this for a long time, never really thought something would be wrong. They were friends for a long time. I trust him and wasn't jealous of their friendship. But for a few months, I've noticed a bit of a change in my boyfriend's behaviour after our fights. Instead of trying to resolve things like we always do, he would get passive aggressive, ignore me for days, and throw around, well, maybe we should break up, quite often. I was really surprised because our fights aren't that serious. For example, ever since we moved in together, we have this agreement that I cook our meals and he cleans everything afterwards. For a week or so, he wouldn't, no matter how many times I asked, because, as he said, Leos don't like to be pushed around. Yeah, every time we fight, he'd just say some stupid stuff like that. So I confronted him yesterday and asked what has gotten into him. Apparently, his female friend has gotten into astrology and she's decided that we are not compatible because I'm a Cancer and he's a Leo. He then blamed our little fight on our signs' incompatibility and told me that she's pretty spot on with her descriptions of our relationship, and he started to believe that we're not a good match. This is so stupid that I honestly thought he was joking, but nope. Now I'm thinking if this is even worth fighting for. I don't believe in astrology. I don't think it's an answer to all the problems that we face, but he is certain that it is because his female friend told him so. I was thinking about meeting up with her, but I don't know if I should. Or maybe with both of them to see what the problem really is. Part of me doesn't want to throw away this relationship. It's been a good 2 years where he wasn't acting like an idiot, but another part of me is bewildered by the amount of stupidity of my boyfriend and his friend. Alright, let's get straight to the comments here. I can't quite believe what I've just read. First of all, that someone could be so easily influenced. Then that, this female friend, what is she trying to achieve here? Anyway, somebody said, do you really want to be with someone so gullible and weak-minded? Which I think is a fair question. Like, if your boyfriend can be this easily led by something that I think is, quite frankly, absolutely ridiculous, and don't worry, I'll get into my own thoughts about zodiac and star signs later on, then it's a good question. Like, do you want to be with someone like that? Opie replied saying, to be fair, he hasn't been like that for a whole 2 years that we've been together, just recently. I'm thinking if there's something going on between them, and this astrology BS is just a way to end things on their terms, maybe. Yeah, I think that could be what's going on. The female friend may just be deciding to try and get you two to break up. Who knows what her intentions are, but it definitely seems that way. Although, again, I do massively blame your boyfriend for this, unless he is also secretly trying to break up with you and finding an excuse. Someone else said, it could be his way of finding an out. Literally exactly what I was just saying. If he's throwing around suggestions of breaking up during every fight, and now he's using zodiac signs as a reason to break up, then he sounds like he's just looking for reasons to end it. He could very well have feelings for this girl, but even if he doesn't sound like a good boyfriend. I would leave. Very good advice there, in my opinion. Next, someone said, or maybe the friend wants to get with him and is manipulating him. He's pretty stupid to fall for it, especially like this, but still, yeah, I agree, that could well be happening. But I don't think that takes away from the fact that your boyfriend is being ridiculously gullible here, or very easily manipulated. And I think that leads to the same questions. Do you want to be with someone that is this easily led away from you? I think that's pretty insane. Finally, someone said, I was thinking the same. I wouldn't be surprised if the friend's sign is miraculously hyper-compatible with OP's boyfriend. Yeah, maybe. But again, I feel like there are always going to be, or quite often, there'll be challenges in relationships, right? And you'll get people like this that aren't good for either you or your partner, and they're just trying to get their own way. Ultimately, if you're not strong enough, then that's on you. But I think what's going on here is that secretly OP's boyfriend is looking for an out. They can't be that gullible to suddenly just be like, oh, my female friend is completely right. I've never believed in astrology before, but she must be right. All right, anyway, let's get into the update and see if there was a resolution here. This was posted 2 months later. I've decided to post a follow-up because my original post gained a lot of attention. I've received plenty of advice and many things have happened ever since the post. Be prepared for a long ride. The whole situation is a great lesson to me, and I'm working on myself now to stop being so naive and gullible. We're not together anymore, which is a good thing, but we didn't break up right away. I ended up confronting my boyfriend about his friend, her input in our relationship, and him seeking validation from her. As many of you have guessed, there was much more to their friendship than I knew about. I'm not sure how far they went to this day, but to the people that were saying that they're using this whole zodiac incompatibility as an excuse, you were right. We took a break at first, because when I decided that I wanted to end things on my own terms, my now ex-boyfriend switched the narrative. Surprisingly enough, he decided he's not ready to let me go, and that he will cut out his friend if it meant we'd stay together. And I was stupid enough to believe him. Lamau. 1 week later, I've decided that I will give my boyfriend another chance. We decided on new boundaries and everything was going smoothly for the first 2 weeks. That is until I noticed that my boyfriend is being suspicious with his phone, taking it with him even when he's taking a bath. One time, he forgot to mute his phone, and I heard the Facebook Messenger signal coming from the bathroom while he was supposedly taking a bath. I've never ever checked his phone before, and I wasn't planning to, so I just asked him to show me his messages. I guess he was surprised because I never was the type to check what he's up to, so he got quite defensive, but I wasn't planning on giving up. We had a whole argument about me not trusting him, to which I agreed that I don't, and he should just show me his phone so we can be done with it. And he did. Guess what I found out? He's still in contact with his astrology-obsessed friend, and their conversations aren't exactly friendly banter. Me finding out led to even more of an argument in which my boyfriend admitted to cheating on me with his friend, blamed it on me being a Cancer and him being a Leo. Again, oh my god, that is phenomenal. That is crazy. Then proceeded to tell me the only reason why he was fighting to stay with me is because, as a Cancer, I'm very, quote, homely, and living with me is great, but I don't give him the thrill that his Sagittarius friend is giving him. What have I just read? Very rarely am I gobsmacked these days on Reddit after over 7 years of doing this. Well, almost 7 years. It's coming up to 7 years. Wow. So, yeah, I kicked him out. I'm on the lease anyways, and when he tried to argue to let him stay for a few days until he finds his own apartment, I told him that as a Cancer, I'm not sure I can control my emotions and not murder him in his sleep. And that is how my ex became my ex. What I've learned from this is 1. To avoid anyone who believes in astrology as a romantic partner, and 2. To be more wary of my future partner's friendships, as many things may not be what they seem. Oh my god. I feel like I just want to give a round of applause to this one. A few lines there. I'm going to have to just reread them because they are just so good. Your boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, blamed him cheating on you being a Cancer and him being a Leo. He blamed cheating on star signs. It's just incredible. Incredible. I've been just unbelievable. And he wants to stay with you because you're homely and living with you is great. Like, as in quotes from what a Cancer is supposed to be. How about you just make your own mind up after 2 years of being with somebody? Like, surely you have a better idea as to whether or not someone is homely and living with them is great after 2 years of living with someone than some random basic I don't want to get too harsh here, but complete load of bull astrology zodiac rubbish. And I do want to say, I know that probably quite a few people watching this and listening to this are into their star signs and their zodiac. I'm not completely rubbishing it, although I don't believe in it at all. So I sort of am. I do think in this situation, it's a completely ludicrous thing to break up with somebody because your star signs don't align. I mean, that is just absolutely ridiculous. Even more ridiculous is the fact that you can tell that your ex-boyfriend OP had no idea about zodiacs and star signs before this, and astrology was just not a thing. It's only become a thing because he was cheating on you. Let's be honest. Unbelievable. Great response from you as well, by the way, saying that as a Cancer, you're not sure you can control your emotions and you may murder him in the night. Just that is chef's kiss. That is phenomenal. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of star signs at all. I think it's a load of bull. And if you've listened and watched this far into the video, then you probably would have been able to guess that from knowing me well, is all I'd say, if you've been around on the channel for a while. Not my thing. Load of absolute trash, if you ask me, but especially in this scenario. Just absolutely ridiculous to blame cheating on a star sign. So elite. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this one. As I mentioned during that, it's not often that I get speechless on Reddit anymore, because I've seen a lot of stuff, and if you've been around for the last 6.5, 7 years, you would have heard a lot of stuff as well. That is right up there for me with one of the most ridiculous things I've read. That little short paragraph. Just insane. Thoroughly enjoyable. If you want more like that right away, check out this episode on screen. If you're new to the channel and want more like this in the future, subscribe with notifications on whatever platform you're on. And I will catch you soon with hopefully some more ridiculous stories just like that one.